All right, good. Happy Saturday, Weekend Warriors. Welcome to the Weekend Dojo with Ace Red and El Chiza Reviews. Tonight we are talking
What's up, Bugheads and Weekend Warriors?
All right, tonight we are talking about...
We are talking about one of my all-time favorite movies, The Big Lebowski.
All right, so before we get started on the whole plot and everything, shall we introduce the characters?
The characters? Look, all you need to know is there's the dude.
So that's what you call him.
Yes. There is a catch, though. His last name is actually Lebowski.
Mm-hmm. Jeffrey Lebowski, if I'm correct, right?
I think, yes, Jeffrey Lebowski.
Mm-hmm. All right, so would you like to start off with giving a full-out recap of what goes on?
Full out what?
The movie, from beginning to end, what goes on.
Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. So the first thing that you're just going to notice is that you're immediately already love this movie because it's narrated by Sam Elliott.
Yep. And the opening music is "The Weed Comes Tumbling Down." Fun fact.
And we open on the dude himself standing in his cardigan, his like beach shorts and sandals at the grocery in the middle of the night, opening and sipping a carton of cream.
Yeah.
And then going up and paying 60 cents for the milk with a check. Yes, there was in fact a time not so long ago, boys and girls. I know we're on the cusp of 2020, but in the early 2000s, this was normal. In the 90s, this was normal.
Can I do the next part? Because the next part is just great.
Yes, you may.
All right, so after he's done buying his milk and so on, or I mean his cream, he goes back to his house and is just walking in, and to his surprise, some two guys sneak up behind him and just charge at him, rushing him, and then plunging his head into his toilet. And then they're asking him for the money that he supposedly owes them, and only to find out that they've got the wrong guy. And because it turns out there's another guy in town who happens to have the same name, Lebowski, who happens to be a billionaire, by the way.
Yeah, appears to be a billionaire.
Oh yeah, appears to be a billionaire. But anyways, after this, after they find out they have the wrong guy, they decide to pee on his rug.
Yes, they do. This is like the hinging point of the whole friggin' movie.
And they call him a loser and leave.
And so he goes to the bowling alley.
Yeah,
and his friends try to comfort him.
Yeah,
sounds like amphibious mammals within city limits. That's not legal, dude. I don't care about I care about my freaking Johnson. They had threatened to cut off his Johnson.
Yes, and part of it was part of the whole conversation kind of went nowhere too, because like Donnie was like 2 topics behind the conversation that was actually going on. And then, and by the way, Donnie is played by Don Cheadle, and Walter is played by John Goodman. 2 great actors. And so Jeffrey, or the dude, goes on to saying the Chinaman peed on my rug, and then Walter goes into like try to correct him of it, and then goes into something about trying to make the situation about Vietnam, like he always does.
Yes, okay. Throughout the course of the movie, he keeps referencing the fact that he did time in Vietnam.
Did he really do time in Vietnam though? Or is he just
You know,
bragging?
I don't think we can ever confirm or deny it.
Because he seems awfully too proud about it, and then keeps forcing it into the subject.
Oh, and they
Oh,
introduce this character like he's gonna be important, but the character they call Jesus,
oh
who is
yes.
a Latin bowler and a sex offender.
Yep.
Public indecency, I guess.
And he has a pretty interesting way of cleaning his bowling ball too.
Yes. Now, keep in mind, I would not recommend this film for anyone under the age of 18.
Of course not. See, I first watched this movie when it was in 2016. I was like 19 at the time, and we were at summer camp, and me and a bunch of the staff who were in the 18 or older cabin watched it for a good laugh, and I was hooked from there on. But yeah, great movie.
Yeah.
We're back at the bowling alley. Oh yeah, that's right. After this, it cuts to him back at his house, drinking a White Russian, and then one of his neighbors comes up to his house and asks him.
Well, that's his landlord.
Oh yeah, his landlord. Yeah, asks him if he can come see his one-man show or whatever.
His interpretive dance thing.
And that comes in later. But yeah, then oddly enough, after that, it just cuts to him the next day at Mr. Lebowski's mansion.
Yes, and talking about. So he went to talk to Mr. Lebowski about the rug.
Mm-hmm.
Gets booted out of the office, but he tells the butler, he's like, he said I could take any rug in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
he does.
Yep.
Listening to the sounds of strikes on his Sony Walkman.
Are we totally gonna skip the part where he meets the girl?
Oh yes, Mr. Lebowski's wife. This is also an important thing.
Yes. Hey, it's all yours now. You get to explain it.
Let's just say she's not shy. Is fond of green toenail polish, and this is important for the rest of the movie. And regularly hangs out with a nihilist.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so he takes a rug out of the house. He's back at his apartment. It's probably one of those pay by the week things.
Uh-huh.
So he's listening to the sound of strikes on his Sony Walkman, and someone comes in and knocks him out.
Uh-huh.
Brings him to this artist's studio, and he's walking down, and he sees this woman come flying along, buck ass naked on a flying trapezius, and just flings paint at this painting. And essentially all of her work is to represent the feminine form. She walks around wearing nothing but like an open robe. She's supposed to be this really out of the box thinking, creative, artsy type, who is actually the source of Mr. Lebowski's fortune.
Yep.
She gives him an allowance. Turns out his wife.
You know what's funnier about this whole situation? Why he's even there?
The rug.
No, but like, why she actually has him there, though? What does she want from him?
We'll get to that. We will get to that.
Oh, that's right. That doesn't happen instantly. You're right.
But yeah, so she takes the rug back. Turns out later, Mr. Lebowski's wife is kidnapped and offered. Well, it turns out earlier, Mr. Lebowski, his wife was kidnapped, and he's offering to pay the dude to find her. and then you gets knocked out. Finds out the guy's just on an allowance. Tells Ron that he's gonna make the switch because they sent a tow in with green nail polish on it.
Uh-huh.
So Ron comes in, sets up a ringer, flings it, tries to shoot him, etc., etc. He leaves Ron there, and they go bowling. And Ronnie is still not Ronnie.
Walter.
Walter looks at Ronnie's, the usual Ronnie. Ronnie, you're out of your Donnie, you're out of your element. Just
yeah. Because Donnie's still always like a few topics behind the current topic.
Yeah, he's a little slow.
Yeah.
He's mostly focused on bowling. The reason that they're there.
Yeah. While the dude and Walter are kind of engaged in their own conversation.
So they go bowling. The dude meets Sam Elliott.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, in that scene, it's basically he's there, and then he comes across Sam Elliott, and then the dude is venting off his issues with him, and then goes off and ends with that one quote.
Hold on. We won't go back. We'll get to that in time.
Oh, is that near the ending?
Yes.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
But there is a scene where he's venting his problems to him, and he's like, I can see you've got the whole cowboy thing going on. I'm glad that's working out for you.
I'll be right back.
Anyway,
I got trash.
Okay. He's like, anyway, I got a game waiting.
Stop. The trash is full, but I'll let you know when you need to come out and empty it. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Anyway, so where was I? Oh yeah, so they walk outside, and there's the three Swedish people, I believe it's Swedish, who are waiting for the money, and it's like the money never existed, and it's like, well, we'll take what you have, and the dude's like, oh, cool, we're getting out of this cheap. He's like, and so of course Walter has to make it into a shooting match. It get into a big ass fight. Donnie gets stabbed. He dies. They cremate him. Shove his ashes inside a coffee can, try to throw them into the ocean. I won't say what the speech was. You have to watch this movie for yourself.
Yeah.
The dust flies back at their face, and they're just like, well, let's go bowling.
Yeah.
And then they run into Sam Elliott again, and Sam just looks over at the dude as he's walking away and says, hey, make sure you don't work too hard. And he just says, the dude abides. And Sam Elliott says, the dude abides. Well, I don't know about you, but I take comfort in that. Knowing that there are dudes out there taking her easy for all us sinners. No. And turns out the artist lady was essentially planning to use the dude as a surrogate father. Said he was to have no responsibility or involvement at the child whatsoever, and she preferred it that way.
Yeah. Now let's go into philosophy and characters and all that.
Okay, so we'll not go into philosophy right away because the philosophy of this movie has been talked up and down and left and right and at a four-dimensional angle, so many different directions. But characters, the dude, he's the guy that a lot of people don't like the idea of existing. But okay, weirdly, so I work at a machine shop 5 days a week, sometimes 6. They're long ass shifts, 9 hours a day. And, it's like, it used to be like, well, screw that guy, he's sitting on his ass every day and I'm here busting mine. And then after a while, I thought the dude abides, and I'm like, he's taking it easy. You know what? All right, yeah. I'm kind of upset that I don't get to, but I'm glad someone does.
Yeah. Yeah, the dude is the man who's
He exists for the dream.
yes. He is content
With less.
With less. He's happy with the simplistic things in life, and he doesn't need much as long as it's pretty much as long as he has a somewhat of a simplistic thing he enjoys. He has no motivation to strive further.
He's there to get drunk, get stoned, and bowl.
Exactly.
That is his existence. Make a little scratch on the side so that he can pay his rent and get milk or get cream and Kahlua and vodka.
Yeah.
He uses Smirnoff and Kahlua specifically, which makes, and I think half and half, which makes for a really cheap White Russian.
Nice. Let's go into Walter. Walter is this middle-aged bowler who's a companion of the dudes, or best friend, I'd have to say. He tends to glorify and brag about his supposed time in Vietnam throughout a course of the movie, and he likes to relate everything to Nam, like it was this glorified thing, which really it leaves the viewer in question whether or not he really actually experienced Nam, just because how he glorifies it.
How much he brings it up, yeah.
Yeah.
Donnie he exists.
Mm-hmm. He's just there.
Mr. Lebowski, well, he's clearly meant to be the anti-dude.
Yeah.
Hence why they're also both named Lebowski, I imagine, is the symbolism there's supposed to be a dichotomy. Mm-hmm. There's the dude happy at the bottom of what you could consider a person with a home, and then you've got Mr. Lebowski, who's living the high life with just as much money as the dude has to his name.
Mm-hmm. And the question is, that's another thing about Mr. Lebowski. Remember how they always in the movie when the dude was visiting Mr. Lebowski's house, his butler was bragging about all of Mr. Lebowski's life accomplishments.
Yes.
Were those real though?
I imagine they were real donations and whatnot, but I don't imagine any of that money really came out of his pocket.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense. I figured he was somewhat of a fraud in some way.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to let's get Bunny, just for the sake of the stream. It's content.
Bunny is a runaway. Her whole purpose to the story is just to disappear while they make a death threat for a ransom, and then come back later because she was out in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
She serves no purpose.
Nope. And then
except to kind of propel the story forward with a reason for the Lebowski to have something to deal with.
Mm-hmm. And then we've got what's her name? Mrs. Lebowski. I can't remember her real name though. Maud, that's it. Maud.
Yeah, Maud. The Big Lebowski's daughter.
Yep.
Mr. Lebowski's daughter, who actually gives him his allowance, is friends with a lot of very eccentric people. She's an artist, and she's very, very intelligent.
Mm. And then, what about, remember that one, who's that weird guy who was sitting in the art studio that was bald and just laughing weirdly at pictures?
One of her friends. He served no function to the story.
Okay, he was just there also?
He was just there.
Mm-hmm. That seems to be a common thing about this movie.
Okay, let me just put it this way. There is there is a beginning, a middle, and end. There's conflict and resolution. There is a protagonist but no real solid antagonist.
Right.
The movie simply fulfills the bare minimum requirements, just like the dude does.
Right. I think that's quite an interesting plot setting to have the plot itself fulfill the bare minimum, just like the character does.
That's the thing. It's just the whole movie is about just kind of existing while shit happens to you.
Exactly, and it's very.
If you can look at it that way, life is just a hell of a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely relatable to the common man.
Yep. I really wish I could be happy with less, but as you can see, I have some expensive tastes.
Same here.
But if I could be happy with just that, I think my whole life would go a little bit easier.
Same here. Shall we go into the culture of the subculture that was spawned from this film?
Well, dudism. How do I describe it?
All right, let's see. I'm on dudism.com. Do you want me to pull up the website on here or just read it from my phone?
Go ahead and pull up. Well, you just read it from your phone. Read it really briefly from your phone.
All right. Come join the slowest growing religion in the world, dudism, an ancient philosophy that preaches non-preachiness, practices as little as possible, and above all, lost my train of thought there. Anyway, if you'd like to find peace on earth and goodwill, man, we'll help you get started right after a little nap. First, you might want to get ordained as a Buddhist priest. There are over 45,000 worldwide, or 450,000 worldwide. And that's the opening message on the menu. Let's see here.
Yep.
What is dudism? While dudism in its official form has been organized as a religion only recently, it has existed down through the ages in one form or another. Probably the earliest form of dudism was the original form of Chinese Taoism before it went all weird with magic tricks and body fluids. The originator of Taoism basically said, "Smoke 'em if you get 'em and mellow out, man." Though he said this in ancient Chinese, so blah, blah, blah. Down through the ages, this rebel shrug has fortified many successful creeds: Buddhism, Christianity, Sufism, and so on. The idea is this: life is short and complicated, and nobody knows what to do about it. So don't do anything about it. Just take it easy, man. Stop working so much whether you'll make it into the finals. Kick back with some friends and some oat soda, whether you roll, strikes, or gutters. Do your best to be true to yourself and others. That is to say, abide. Dudism.
And that's kind of what the moral of the Weekend Dojo. We all have to work. It's something that many of us can't avoid. But you know what we can do? We can hang out here on Saturday evenings, shoot the breeze, and just hang.
Ace Red abides to that.
I should have brought a beer.
I wish I had one right now, actually.
Anyway, so let's just talk a little bit about the dude in general. He's supposed to represent essentially really the Zen masters of the modern era. They found a few things that they like that aren't really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
They're happy and content with just that. They've found a way to keep everything working. They somehow manage to pay their taxes every year. Just leave them be.
Yeah.
Just because they've got it figured out doesn't mean you got to go shitting on them.
Mm-hmm.
What I wouldn't give for something like that.
I have high respect for those who take that route in life. That they know where it's at.
And I strive every day just to be a little closer to that.
What'd you say?
I strive every day to be a little closer to that. Once I get my car fixed up, I am actually planning on moving out of here.
Okay.
Gonna get me like a little. Well, I would like to say one day I would have an apartment in Japan.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Short-term goal though is actually a little apartment in Brattleboro, Vermont.
What's in Brownsville?
It's a historic city, and it's the most eccentric group of people you'll ever meet.
How so?
Well, it's not uncommon to walk. Okay, you know those wool blankets, the tan ones that have the black, the red, the green, and the yellow stripe?
I think so.
It would not be uncommon to walk down the street and see a man wearing a button-down suit jacket made out of one of those. Walk down a little further, you see a blues guitarist busking at by the coffee shop. Walk down a little further, you see someone with bright pink hair and katana earrings.
Sounds cool.
It's my kind of scene.
Oh yeah,
There's music stores. There's a music store, couple of music stores. There's a movie theater, a little hippie shop called Beatniks.
Nice.
All kinds of food. They just opened like a Middle Eastern place there.
Nice. So this sounds like the place to actually to live it good.
Yep, and I'm thinking of getting myself a cheap little cracker box apartment over the sporting goods store.
Sounds good.
Maybe the Chinese restaurant, something there. Just a neat, just like one room, maybe a kitchen off to the side or something like that.
Hey, I say go for it, man. I mean, it sounds like that you'd be even closer to living a simple life too.
I'd be closer to work too, which means I wouldn't have to stress so much about gas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gas prices raise quickly.
But that's kind of like the life I want to live, is something like the dudes.
Oh, of course, yeah. I strive to somewhat, or at least try to have at least 10 minutes of my day living like that every day. So far, I've succeeded. Whether it's just getting a yoga mat, laying it on my floor, just laying back, or just sitting here with a nice cold drink and whatever I'm watching on my computer.
So, whether you like him or not, if you see the slacker, okay, we'll use that term. So they pretty much don't care anyway. When you try to think, what can you learn from them?
Mm-hmm.
What can you take away from their life to improve yours? From the way they live, what can you observe? And in that, use it to enrich your own. Even if you're not totally comfortable with just getting like a flop apartment and, spending any discretional income on Kahlua and Smirnoff, but maybe learn to unwind a little more.
You know what's even better about some of these people? They're really good. They're odds are they're really good artists in some way, shape, or form.
Usually.
Whether it's music, painting, clothing, you name it. Odds are they're really good at it in some way, shape, or form. Usually, or they just enjoy living it without art or anything that resembles complexity.
Pretty much. I mean, you could look. there are some who are artists, some who are not,
Mm-hmm.
some who aspire to be artists, and some who are just happy with whatever's around them.
Mm-hmm.
There is no fault in that. If they are able to pull it off, all the power to them.
Exactly.
Well, I suppose that's it. Shall we?
Oh, we got a viewer. I think we should answer questions if we got any.
Sure.
1 second. Weekend Dojo. Let's see. There. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. Fire Kaiser. Hello, Fire Kaiser. Welcome. Oh, we got 2 people on now, according to our list. You want to do Q&A now?
Sure. I guess we can answer a few questions.
Sounds good. All right. Well, guys got any questions for us? Have you guys ever seen the movie The Big Lebowski? While we're waiting for comments, anything else you'd like to add or bring up as a side topic?
Well, as a side topic, the boots for my Revuger costume just came in.
Ooh, can we see?
Sure. So, these are your typical Power Ranger-esque cosplay boots.
Ooh, nice. I like it. Let's see here.
They zip up in the back, which is really convenient. It prevents the fabric from bunching up.
Kuro Yatogami asks or says, "I've never seen The Big Lebowski. Should I watch it?"
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. It is a movie you can watch for multiple reasons. 1, laughs, pure comedy. 2, it's simplistic. It doesn't overcomplicate things as the movie goes through. It just, things happen, simply set up it has a beginning, a middle, and end, a set of characters, and it's simplistic. It's just as simplistic as the goals of the main character. If I can explain the best, it's pretty much about a stoner who's really satisfied with his life and is kind of forced into complex situations, and it's just him having to deal with it.
Yeah, he's just rolling with it.
Yeah. All right, so more about your boots while we're waiting for the next question.
That's really all there is to say about them. They're made of sort of a faux leather, which will match the texture of the gloves I got. I'm not too confident in how that's seated in there. Time will tell.
Good.
Got a soft lining, and like I said, with the zip in the back, it'll prevent the leg of the coveralls from bunching up at all.
Right. That looks really good. How much were they?
They were like $50.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Not at all.
So, you want to tell us about any projects coming up?
Well, see, I've hit a wall, and I'm thinking I might do a Twitter vote on this sometime. I'm working on the backdrop here, but I can't decide, because some of the panels are light up, I can't decide what pattern I want to use. So, I'm going to dummy up a few test shots, take some pictures, and I might put them on Twitter and ask for a vote.
Sounds good. Well, with me, I am going to. I've been planning and thinking about how I'm going to escalate behind the mascots, my project I'm working on. I've decided I'm going to do California Raisins first.
Ooh, cool.
So yeah, I've started watching some old commercials today and doing some research on exactly what it was, because my memory of it is kind of foggy. I definitely remember having the toys. So I decided that actually has that sparked a little more interest in me than Mac Tonight, and Mac Tonight's kind of been done a lot already. So I want to try to do something new that kind of hasn't had much attention in a while. Yeah, I'm gonna do California raisins first, and then I'll work from there, and maybe ask people to do a vote on the next one.
Oh yeah, but you gotta give them some options. I'm thinking one of the Japanese superhero mascots.
Like Pep. Ooh,
Pepsi Man.
there's Pepsi Man. There was one. He was like for a soda or something like that. It wasn't for Pepsi. It was another one. Common something. Yes?
You can do the trash now. Also, there is a packet of pepperoni in the refrigerator. It is mine.
Okay. I'll be right back, okay? Well, anyways, actually, we'll just end it here, and then I'll be right back so we can talk about other things.
Okay, doke.
Thank you all for watching, and see you all tomorrow night.
See ya.